Hey y'all, welcome to the Prosser Group Week in Review. I'm Caroline Alexander.
And I'm Dan Huber. Today we aren't going to waste any time, so let's get started.
Let's do it. So in last week's episode, we talked about this being a test. I'm a little nervous. How did we do?
Well, good news is we haven't been canceled, which shouldn't be too hard. We had the pilot episode, and I like to talk about testing and measuring. We talked a little bit about it being a test. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. We had a pretty good week in social media, particularly for our content marketing, looking specifically at Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. The week ending the 17th, our impressions were up 2,422%, and our engagements were up almost 2,000%. So a pretty good week all in all. There were two drivers to that, and one of them hopefully doesn't come as a surprise, which is the video that we're talking about right now, and we're doing the second installment of. But the first one we talked a little bit about last week, the CAD Judge video, and we put together this visualization and pushed it out there. So the interesting thing about this, it was a bit of a test in and of itself. We do social listening for the Prosper Group, and gives us the ability to do a little research on what's going on, particularly with viral opportunities that make something pretty interesting pretty fast. And we got a total of 30,851 impressions on Twitter for the content we generated with 859 engagements. So we tried a couple things. What I think is most interesting about this is kind of a one-off tactic that is relevant now, but may not always be relevant, in the sense that the target audience for this is somewhat overlaps who our target audience is. And when you look at it, it's just kind of an engaging thing. So we were able to catch it right as it was picking up. But we did a couple things to make it work for us. So the tweet we sent out was a quote of the original tweet by Judge Roy Ferguson. And that helped us out a lot because the judge responded to it. And then from there, we reposted to top performing tweets of this video. So several media channels were sharing it, and we just kind of piggybacked on that. So it warrants some future testing, but probably not something that everybody's going to benefit from, but something we might try doing again at some point. So that was interesting. The other big driver, as I said, was the video we posted last week. And really, there were a lot of positive things that we saw come out of that. So we posted across 4 channels: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn. And on Facebook specifically, everybody says video gets much more engagement. It's prioritized by the Facebook algorithm. And we saw positive results from that with 104% increase. So 204% of an average of what we've gotten over the year on this post from a reach standpoint. And as we looked across the video on those 4 social platforms, the total engagement was 11.4%, with a total of 383 views of the video. So, don't mistake that for 383 full views. I think most of the social platforms count that as like a 3-second thing. But we had Caroline's mom, my wife, my kids. So we probably got pretty close to the 10 that we were looking for last week. So that's a win.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you're okay with that? Did your mom watch?
I don't know if I even got the view from my mom.
We might have gotten my mom. I wouldn't be shocked. So
maybe this week. Maybe this week.
Yeah. And we're going to try and keep it shorter. That was one of our notes. We're going to shoot for a shorter video. We really went long, and particularly for LinkedIn and Twitter, kind of exceeded the minimum or the maximum of really what we wanted to do. So we had to look at cutting that up. But the flip side of that, if you have a long video, if you can edit it up and cut it into chunks and post it over time, that creates value too, but probably not appropriate in this use case. And the other thing is I'm going to test creating landing pages. I actually went back and did one for the video last week where I pulled down the closed captioning, cleaned it up a little bit, and created a landing page so that we can drive people to that page.
Great. Well, I think that's some great content, definitely. So what do you think is coming up next week for PG?
That's a good question. It's going to be a quieter week. We don't have as many holidays, but hopefully we'll thaw out, a little less snow. I don't know about you, but I think I have about 1.5 feet sitting in my yard right now. So
too much.
Could do without that. I think our theme for next week is going to be a bit of a surprise, but we're going to keep talking about text messaging. We push back some content next week to get it right and get it out. And we're going to continue recognizing our team, and we're going to keep testing. So really, that's kind of what the plan is.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. And that's all for today. So if you think you'd like to see more and you think this is encouraging and you enjoy this, please leave us a comment. Let us know your thoughts, and we'll see you next week.